Hello everyone, I am Engineer Ellipse and I am your subject teacher in Precalculus. Today, we are going to talk about ellipse. Before we are going to talk about this ellipse, let us first identify the competencies that we are expected to learn at the end of this video. First, you should be able to define an ellipse. Second, you should be able to determine the standard form of equation of an ellipse. Third, you should be able to graph an ellipse in a Cartesian coordinate plane. Fourth, you should be able to discuss the parts of an ellipse. Fifth, you should be able to convert the general equation of an ellipse to standard form and vice versa. So what is an ellipse? An ellipse is a set of all points in a plane. The sum whose distances form two fixed points is constant. The fixed points are called foci. Converting the general equation of an ellipse to its standard form. We have here an example. Let us try to convert the general equation to its standard form with the given 9x squared plus 8y squared is equal to 288. Okay, first, let us write the given problem. Next, we should identify kung ano to siya nga number ang ara sa aton nga right side sa equation. In this case, 288. And then, kung ano na siya nga number ang ato na identify, i-divide ang whole equation naton sa left side sa equation kag sa right side sa equation with that number para ma-equate ang imo nga equation into 1. Because the standard equation of an ellipse is equated to 1. Okay, and then we should be able to simplify 9x squared over 288 into x squared over 32. And 8y squared divided by 288 into y squared over 36 is equal to 1. We have here example number 2. So the given is 3x squared plus 4y squared plus 24x minus 16y plus 52 is equal to 0. Now you have noticed that we have here your x variable and your y variable. Ang first gid natin nga buhaton is we are going to group these variables nga magtalalapikay sila. And then, manotice mo man nga may ara kita constant sa left side sa aton nga equation. In this case, that is equal to 52. And we are going to transpose your positive 52 to the right side of your equation. After that, i-factor out ang 3 kag ang 4 sa imo nga x squared plus 24x and also your 4y squared kag sa imo nga negative 16y. So this becomes 3 multiplied by the quantity of x squared plus 8x plus 4 multiplied by the quantity of y squared minus 4y is equal to negative 52. Now, nag-negative 52 na siya because remember that kung i-transpose mo ang number sa either side of the equation, ma-change ang iyang sign. So, positive 52 siya before, nag-negative 52 na siya. And then, ma-perform kita sang completing the square sa first mga binomial kag sa second mga binomial. So, let us try to complete the square for x squared plus 8x. Now, how are we going to do that? So, we need to identify first the value of your a and the value of your b. Diba? Na-discuss na naman isa sa parabolas. But, let us try again to review in case nalipat naman ka mo. So, you have your formula nga b over 2 squared. So, kay na-identify mo ng a kag imo nga b, pwede mo na dayon siya ma-substitute directly sa imo nga formula. So, after that, this becomes 8 over 2 squared, and then simplify 8 divide 2, that is equal to 4 squared, and then simplifying further, that is equal to 16. Okay, now, we also need to complete the square for the binomial y squared minus 4y. So, ano to gani ang first natin nga buhaton? We should be able to identify the values of your a and your b. In this case, sa second natin nga binomial, the value of a is equal to 1, and the value of b is equal to negative 4. Okay? And then, again, your formula is correct. b over 2 squared. Therefore, your solution would be negative 4 over 2 squared. Simplifying kung ano to sa parentheses, that is equal to 2 squared, and then simplifying further, that is equal to 4. Okay, so ano ni siya ang significance ng imong 16 kag sa imong 4? What you are going to do is you are going to add sang 16 dito sa imong x kag sang imong 4 dito sa imong y variables. So this becomes 3 multiplied by the quantity of x squared plus 8x plus 16 plus 4 multiplied by the quantity of y squared minus 4y plus 4 is equal to negative 52 plus 3 multiplied by 16 plus 4 multiplied by 4. Now, diin ni siya naghalin ang 3 kag 3 multiplied by 16 kag ang 4 times 4. Dito ni siya naghalin sa imo nga gin-add sa left side sang imo nga equation. As you can see, nag-add kita sang 16 kag sang 4. But let us also not forget nga may ara ka multiplier nga 3 for your 16 kag 4 for your 4. Amo na siya nga nag-add ka man sa right side sa imong equation sang 3 multiplied by 16 kag 4 multiplied by 4. Kay kung ano tong ginbuhat mo sa imo sang left side sa equation or sa right side sa imo nga equation, you should also do the same sa piyak na side sa imong equation. Do you follow? Okay. Now, simplifying sa right side sa imong equation, this becomes negative 52 plus 48 plus 16. And then, this would become, simplifying further sa right side the equation, this becomes 12. Okay. Next, anon tani siya ang perfect square trinomial kag ang sa nga may x variables kag may y variables. We are going to convert this into the square of binomial. So, paano tani siya i-perform? First is you are going to convert or you are going to square root the first term and then square root your third term. So, ang square root sang x squared is x, kag ang square root sang imong 16 is equal to 4. That is why nag-x plus 4 squared siya. And then sa imong y variables, you also have your first term nga y squared, kag ang imong third term nga 4. So, square root of y squared is equal to y, and the square root of your 4 is equal to 2. But also remember that your second term is a negative number. So, ang operation sa imong y kag sa imong 2 is also a negative sign. So, amo na siya nga nag-y minus 2 squared siya for your y variables or for the square of the binomial nga may ara sang y variables. Okay? Follow lang. Next, ma-identify kita kung ano nga constant ang ara sa imo nga right side sa imong equation because, again, ang ellipse is always naka-equate sa 1. So, we are just going to divide kung ano na siya nga constant ang ara sa right side equation by itself. So, kay 12 siya, ma-divide ka sa 12 sa right side sa equation, and then you are also going to divide sa left side sa imong equation by 12. So, this becomes 3 multiplied by the square of x plus 4 over 12 plus 4 multiplied by the square of y minus 2 over 12 is equal to 12 over 12. Simplifying 3 divide 12 and 4 over 12 and 12 over 12, this becomes the square of x plus 4 over 4 plus the square of y minus 2 over 3 is equal to 1. So that is your final answer for example number 2. Okay, now for our third example, we should convert the standard form to its general form. The given is x minus 1 squared all over 100 plus the square of y plus 1 over 36 is equal to 1. Now, let us remember nga ang ating standard form naka-equate siya sa 1. That is why ang ating given example naka-equal to 1. And then, our general form naka-equate siya sa 0. Ibalik ta naman siya dito sa general form nga pareha sa mga examples natin sa example 1 kag example 2. Now, ang first gid natin nga buhaton is we need to identify kung ano ang least common denominator or LCD sa imong first term kag sa imong second term. Para mabalaan mo kung ano ang iyang LCD, manumdum ka sa number sang imo nga denominator nga pwede ma-divide sa both terms. So in this case, para masapos natin nga ma-identify, i-multiply ta lang ang 100 sa 36. Kay ang iyang product sina, ma-divide mo na siya both sa 100 kag sa 36. Okay, so 100 times 36 is equal to 3,600. That is why nag-multiply kita sa right side sa ito ang equation sang 3,600 kag 3,600 to our left side of the equation. Next is ma-distribute kita sang atong nga 3,600 sa atong nga first term and to our second term. So this becomes 3,600 multiplied by the square of x minus 1 over 100 plus 3,600 multiplied by the square of y plus 1 all over 36 is equal to 3,600. Simplifying 3,600 and 100, 3,636, this becomes 36 multiplied by the square of x minus 1 plus 100 multiplied by the square of y plus 1 is equal to 36. Next is we are going to i-perform ang square of the binomial for your x minus 1 and for your y plus 1. Now, how are we going to do that? So, let us have a small review for the square of binomial. The first thing that you need to do is you need to square your first term. So, ang first term natin is x. So, the square of your x is equal to x squared. Next is, you're going to square the second term. So, ang second term ta is negative 1. So, negative 1 squared is equal to 1. And lastly, we need to multiply the first and the second term by 2. So, this becomes x multiplied by negative 1 multiplied by 2 is equal to negative 2x. Ang x, amo na siya ang aton nga first term, ang negative 1, amo na siya aton nga second term, kag ang 2, amo na siya aton nga multiplier, nga hambal na nga gin-state dira sa aton nga third step. Next, anhon ta ning x squared, kag ang 1, kag ang negative 2x. So, ipagsama-samahon na siya naton. That is your final answer for the square of your binomial nga x minus 1. That is equal to x squared minus 2x plus 1. Next, we also have to square your binomial nga y plus 1. So again, ang first step is we need to square the first term. So the square of y is equal to y squared. Square the second term. That is equal to y. 1 squared is equal to 1. And then, again, maano kita, ma-multiply the first and the second term by 2. So, that is equal to y multiplied by 1 times 2 is equal to 2y. So, pagsama-samahon ta siya, you have your final answer nga y squared plus 2y plus 1. Supplying sa imo final answers for the square of your binomials, this becomes okay. Supplying the square of your binomials, this becomes 36 multiplied by the quantity of your x squared minus 2x plus 1 plus 100 multiplied by the quantity of your y squared plus 2y plus 1 is equal to 3,600. Next is we are going to distribute your 36 and your 100 sa imo nga perfect square trinomials. So this becomes 36x squared minus 72x plus 36 plus 100y squared plus 200y plus 100 is equal to 3,600. And then, i-transpose mo lang ang imo nga whole number or imo nga constant from the right side of your equation to your left side of your equation. So, pag transpose mo sang imo number, maano gani ang sign? Ma-change. Okay, very good. So, this becomes 36x squared minus 72x plus 36 plus 100y squared plus 200y plus 100 minus 3,600 is equal to 0. And then, you will notice nga may ara kita tatlo kabilog nga constant nga 36 kag 100 kag imo nga negative 3,600. I-combine mo lang na siya ang tatlo ka constant. So your final answer would be 36x squared minus 72x plus 100y squared plus 200y minus 3,464 is equal to 0. Follow lang so far? Okay, now, let us now try to learn the parts of an ellipse. We have here the graph of an example graph of an ellipse, wherein its center is to be found at the origin or at 0, 0. Its vertex ara sa side sang imo nga center, kag your other vertex is at the other side. You also have your co-vertex and your other co-vertex. You will also have your focus and your second focus. You also have your major axis nga ga-intersect sa imo nga focus kag imo nga minor axis nga ga-intersect sa imo nga co-vertex. Remember nga ang major axis ga-intersect sa focus, ang minor axis ga-intersect sa co-vertex. Okay, now let us try to identify the values of your A, your B, and your C of your ellipse. The distance from your center pakadto sa one of your vertices is equal to A. The distance from your vertex pakadto sa one of your co-vertices is equal to B. And also the distance from your center pakadto sa imong mga focus, that is equal to C. Okay? Remember ha, amo na siya ang values of your A, your B, and your C. Okay. The graph and the standard equation of an ellipse. So this is the graph of an ellipse with a standard equation nga x squared over A squared plus y squared over b squared is equal to 1. Again, naka-equate naman siya sa 1 because that is the standard form of an ellipse. And also, nagapahigda ang imo nga ellipse kung ang imo nga A ara siya sa dalom sang imo nga x kag ang imo nga b ara sa dalom sang imo nga y. Provided that your A is equal to is greater than b and the center is at 0, 0. So kung always ha nga sa aton nga ellipse nga ang A is always greater than your B, and if kung diin naka-place ang imo nga letter A, dira na siya diin nga number nga mas dako naka-place, for example ang number nga mas dako naka-place under your x, ang imo nga graph is nagapahigda. So may ara na kita values ang imo nga A kag B, and C na lang ang kulang. Ang imong formula for your C in finding out the distance from your center pakadto sa one of your foci is C is equal to the square root of A squared minus B squared. Okay, now, what do you think is the graph of an ellipse for x squared over b squared plus y squared over a squared is equal to 1, where A is greater than B. Again, A is greater than B, and center is at 0, 0. Now, kagina, ang A na place under sa imong X. This time, ang A naman naka-place under your Y. What do you think is the graph for this kind of ellipse? So, the graph would be nagapa-tindog or nagapa-vertical. Nagapainat siya pa vertically. Kaya ang imong A ara sa imong sa dalom sa imong Y. Okay? Now, this would be the graph sang imong ellipse kung ang imong center naman wala naka-locate sa imong origin. Kagina ara siya sa 0, 0. Now, subong ang imong standard equation is the quantity of the square of x minus h over b squared plus the quantity of the square of y minus k over a squared is equal to 1. Where, again, your b is, where your a is greater than b. So, kapatindog siya, pero wala siya center mismo sa origin, kaya ang may ara ka na value for your h and your k, and your a is placed under sa imong letter y. So, that is why nagapatindog siya. Okay? Next, you also have your x minus h squared over a squared plus y minus k squared over b squared is equal to 1. Where, again, a is greater than b and center is at h and k. Subong, ara naman siya sa ang a naka-place under your x variable. So, ano to siya gani? Kung ara naman siya sa x variable, ang imong a, ang imong graph nagapahigda. Kagi nagapatindog, subong gapahigda naman siya. Pero kay may h and k values ka na, wala na siya mismo nakatuon ang center sa imong ellipse sa imong origin. Okay, so these are the graphs, possible graphs sa imong ellipse. Let us try now to identify kung ano ni siya ang mga standard equations niya. Okay, for our first standard equation, you have your x minus h squared over a squared plus y minus k squared over b squared is equal to 1. Please try to match kung diin siya naka-graph. So, ang first mo gid nga makita is ang may ara ka values for your h and k. Therefore, wala siya nakatuon sa imong origin. Wala naka-center ang imong center sa origin sa imong coordinate plane. And then, you also have your a and your b. Diin naka-place ang imong a under your x. So, therefore, ang imong graph nagapahigda. Therefore, ang iyang graph is, ari siya sa bottom left sang aton niya PowerPoint. Next standard equation is x squared over a squared plus y squared over b squared is equal to 1. Okay, hambal niya naman, the center is at 0, 0. So, diin ang possible nga mga graph niya for this standard equation. Ari sa top right kag sa top left. Pero, ang imong a, diin siya naka-place or diin siya naka-tandi. Ara siya sa below sa imong x. Therefore, nagapaano imong graph? Nagapa-higda man japon. Therefore, ang imong graph for this standard equation is ara siya sa top right. Very good. Next standard equation is x squared over b squared plus y squared over a squared is equal to 1. Again, ang imong center is at 0, 0 kay wala ka sang values ang imong h and k. Therefore, your center is ara sa origin. Kag ang imong a is ara siya under your y. Therefore, ang graph for this standard equation is nagapa vertical. Therefore, ari siya sa top left nga graph. And of course, for this standard equation of our last graph is x minus h squared over b squared plus y minus k squared over a squared is equal to 1. Okay? Okay, let us now proceed to graphing the ellipse on the Cartesian coordinate plane. So, give the coordinates of the center, the foci, the vertices, and co-vertices of ellipse with the given equation. Sketch the graph and include these points. So, example number 4, we have here x squared over 36 plus y squared over 4 is equal to 1. So, solution. A is always greater than B. So tandaan ta na nga A is always greater than B for our ellipse. So sa diri possible nga ang aton nga A ara siya sa below sa aton nga X kay mas dako ang 36 compared sa 4. Therefore, A squared is equal to 36 and B squared is equal to 4. Kaya sa standard equation natin kagina, hambal niya nga x squared over A squared plus Y squared over B squared is equal to 4. Is equal to 1, I mean. So, ang 36 kag 4, naka-square pa na siya nga form sang imo nga A kag B. Pangitaon ta pa ang square root sang imo nga A squared kag sang imo nga B squared. Therefore, the values of your A and your B is equal to 6 and 2 respectively. Okay, na-find na ang values ang imo nga A kag B, paano ta naman pangitaon ang value of your C? So, the value of your C is equal to the square root of your A squared minus B squared. This is equal to the square root of 36 minus 16 is equal to the square root of 20, and your C is approximately equal to 4.5. Now, ano ni siya gani ang significance of your A, B, and C? Paano tani siya ma-apply or mapuslan sa aton nga graph sang aton nga ellipse? Now, remember that your A is the distance from your center pakadto sa imo nga vertex, right? Your B is the distance from the center of your ellipse pakadto sa one of the co-vertices sang imo ellipse. And your C is the distance of your focus pakadto sa imo nga center. Okay, now for your vertex or for your center rather, ma-identify ta na dayon siya based sa aton nga given nga example. So for this one, wala sang values ang imo nga H kag K kay wala man partner ang imo nga X kag Y. Therefore, your center is at 0 and 0. Kung i-try ta ni siya plot sa aton nga coordinate plane, your center is at the origin mismo nga kung sa diin naga-intersect ang imo nga x-axis kag imo nga y-axis, as you can see. Next, your vertex. So ang vertex is ano gani? The distance is your A. Kung sa diin your A is the distance from your center pakadto sa imo nga vertex. So, makount ka lang kuno 6 units from your center. Galing pa diin, pababaw or pa left or right? Pa top and or pa dalom or pa left and right? So, kay hambal ta, ang A nimo ara siya sa naka-align with your X. Therefore, ang imo nga graph nagapa higda. Therefore, ma-count kita 6 units man nga gapahigda or 6 units from your center to the left side of your center and to the right side of your center. So, the first vertex is equal to 6 and 0. Ara siya sa right side sa imong center. And the other vertex is equal to negative 6 and 0. Ara siya sa left side of your center. Next, finding out the coordinates for your co-vertex. So, ang co-vertex, ang distance from your center, that is equal to B. Diba? Hambal ta kagina. So, therefore, makount ka 2 units above your center. So, from your 0, 0, ma-add ka lang 2 units pababaw. So, one of the coordinates is equal to 0 and 2. And your other co-vertex is equal to 0 and negative 2. Okay? Next, your foci. So, the distance from your center to your foci is equal to C. So, makount ka therefore 4.5 units from your center, pa left kag pa right. Kay ang imo nga focus kag ang imo nga vertex, dira na siya ga intersect ang imo nga major axis. So, your foci is 4.5 and 0, ara siya sa right side sa imo nga center, and negative 4.5 and 0, ara siya sa left side sa imo nga center. After finding out your points, pwede mo na siya dayon matrace ang imo nga ellipse. Okay? Okay, example number 5, we have here x plus 3 squared over 9 plus y minus 2 squared over 25 is equal to 1. Solution. Again, a is always greater than b. So therefore, kay mas greater ang imong 25 compared to your 9, a squared is equal to 25 and b squared is equal to 9. Square root ang 25 kag ang 9, that is equal to 5 and 3 respectively. For your c, that is equal to the square root of your a squared minus b squared, that is equal to the square root of 25 minus 9 is equal to the square root of 16. And what is the square root of 16? That is equal to 4. And therefore, your c is equal to 4. So ano ni siya ang a, b, and c gani? That is the distances from your center pakadto sa imong vertices, sa imong co-vertices, kag sa imong foci. Now, let us try to find out the value or the coordinate for your center. Now, for your center, the coordinate will be negative 3 and positive 2. Kay based sa aton nga standard equation, may ara partner ang imong x, kag may partner ang imong y. Now, for the partner sa imong x, may positive 3 siya. Pero ma-negative 3 na siya sa dito sa imong coordinate kay ang aton nga standard equation kagina naka minus h. For your y, ma-positive 2 na siya, although ang aton nga sign sang 2 diri sa aton nga y sa standard sa given problem naton is a negative number, galing kay ang standard equation naton kagina naka negative k. So therefore, the value of your k is equal to 2. Okay, graphing your center. So, 3 units pakadto pa left and 2 units pakadto pa babaw from your origin, I mean. So, this is the center of your ellipse. Now, for your vertex, ang imong vertex ara siya gani always naka-intersect sa imong major axis. Ano, by the way, ang tsura sang aton nga nga ellipse, nagapahigda or nagapa-vertical? Nagapa-horizontal or nagapa-vertical? Paano ta siya mabalaan? So kung ang imong a ara sa below sa imong x, gapa-horizontal, no, di ba? Kung ang imong a ara sa imong y, nagapa-vertical. In this case, kay mas dako ang 25 kag ara siya below sa imong y, nagapa-vertical ang imong ellipse. Therefore, from your center, makount kita 5 units above your center kag 5 units below your center for us to find out kung pila ang value or ano ang coordinate sa imong vertex. Okay, let us try to find out sa pakadto padalom sa imong center. So, ma-minus ka sang 3 or I mean 5 sa imong 2 kay ang value sa imong a is equal to 5. So, minusan ta na siya sang 2. Kay ang imong center, ang imong k is equal to 2. So, 2 minus 5, that is equal to negative 3. And negative 3 ang imong first vertex. So, ari siya sa negative 3 and negative 3. And your second vertex, makount ka naman 5 units again above your center. So, pila na siya kung madugang ka sang 5 sa imong 2. So, 7. Therefore, your second vertex is at negative 3 and 7. As you can notice, wala nag-change ang imong negative 3 kay wala man taya nag-move pa left kag right. Nag-change lang man taya sang aton nga point pababaw kag padalom, di ba? So nag-add lang ta sa aton nga y coordinates sang 5. So ari siya sa 7. For your co-vertex, that is your b nga distance from your center. So, makount ka 3 units from your center. Therefore, ma-minus kag ma-plus ka sa imo nga negative 3. So, the first co-vertex is equal to negative 6 and 2. Kay kung makount ka pa left sa imo nga center, that is negative 6. Wala nag-change ang 2. That is the graph. And 0 and negative 2. Kay kung ma-add ka sang 3 sa imo nga negative 3, that is equal to 0. Kung i-graph ta siya, ara siya sa babaw sa imong origin 2 units. So amo na siya dayon ang imong graph sa imong vertex, center, and co-vertices. For your focus or your foci, that is equal to negative 3 and negative 2. kag negative 3 and positive 6. Paano tani siya nakuha ang aton nga foci gani? Kay kung mag-count ka pa sang 4 units pababaw kag 4 units padalom sang imo nga center, makuha mo na dayon ang imo coordinates for your foci. That is negative 3 and negative 2 and negative 3 and 6 respectively. So amo na siya iyang graph. Pag trace mo, amo na siya yung mga ellipse. Now, what if sir naka-general equation ang aton nga ellipse? Amo man Japon sa ginhimo naton sa parabola before. So, anong ta siya una? I-convert ta siya into a standard form. Para mag-convert ta sa standard form, ipang-equate ta siya sa 1. And then, after that, pag nakuha mo na yung mga standard form, pwede mo na dahil pang-identify ang imo nga A, B, kag C. Always remember that your A is always greater than B. And kung ara ang imo nga A below your X, ang imo nga graph is nagapa horizontal. And if your A is below your Y, ang imo nga graph nagapa vertical. And also, your A is the distance from your center pakadto sa imo nga vertex. Your B is the distance from your center pakadto sa imo nga co-vertex. And your C is equal to the square root of your A squared minus B squared, and that is the distance from your center pakadto sa imo nga focus. Now, if you still have confusion or questions about our topic for today, you can contact me sa akon nga social media, may it be for Facebook or sa aton nga Facebook Messenger or sa aton nga private Facebook group. Or pwede man ka maka-comment down sa aton nga comment sa aton nga comment section sa aton nga platform kung diin ko ni siya gin-upload, which is YouTube. So, I hope nakabulig ining video lesson sa inyong learning for today, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!